This video is a poetic approach to explaining my path and remembering a past life of mine in the Illuminati that actually happened very recently. I would say that in this past life I was a teen in the mid-70s to early 80s, and I would still probably be in my late 40s if I had lived. The poem starts out explaining the things I've been personally battling whilst remembering this past life, emotionally on a day-to-day basis and mentally through dreams. It then goes into explaining the memories and emotions pieced together, which paint a picture of what had happened to me in this past life towards the end of it, and what I had held on to in that past life that I'm working on letting go of now in this life. I have much more to share about this life, but as explained in the poem, there's something within me that holds me back from getting all of my truth and understandings out. This understanding of myself has led me to an interesting question. With all of the horrendous mind control one goes through in the Illuminati, would it still affect the person even if they are in another incarnation with a totally different brain? My experiences have led me to a yes. If one doesn't learn from something in a life and let it go, they continue to deal with the same perceptions which project their reality and their following lives until they let it go for good. Ever since I've been remembering this life, I have reopened a lot of my past incarnation's old perceptions, especially the perception she had towards the end of her life. I have been doing a great deal of healing the things that I've gone through in that life. Like an onion, there are many layers to peel away from many lives, and I have gone through many thus far. I suspect that soon all this hard work we've been putting into this new path is going to bloom and materialize into something miraculous. The seeds had been planted long ago, and they continue to grow at incredible speeds. It takes looking within to realize that, though. This is my poem, filled with darkness and light, both the yin and yang versions of duality. Beaten into submission, her consistent incarnations. Evil's gripped around her throat, it leeches with intentions. So much truth she has to share. Don't speak a word, enough of dull care. Alas, the program resists, yet the truth of heart is missed. Though visions of this cursed perception she sees as soon to dissolve, the light, the darkness, a whirlwind of gray sends her spiraling towards the ground. Mouth tightly shut, not able to say, with eyes widened on the light as it makes its way. Reaching up toward it, just beyond her grip, the blackness breathing down her neck, edging her to trip. Stopped. You are silenced, lowered to the dirt. Taken away the fire she once used for support. Cold and vulnerable, the darkness forcing her to choke. The girl of hair like gold, a past life story was told, for loving the light in a reality that was empty and cold. With a lashed covered back from the victims she had freed, with vicious hate from her family she was seen. The golden-haired girl, broken and undone, not able to move, not able to run. Her destiny was chosen by the ones with whom she trusted. Her own flesh and blood turned against her in a rush. Sneaking, unfeeling, a gun was pressed to her head, and as she lay dying, the torment she clenched to as she bled. In a life right after, the grip is still felt, but knowing to let go, the darkness begins to melt. A stairway that leads to the truth of heart, from the shadow she steps forth, shedding away the dark.